Have you ever felt it? That prickle on the back of your neck when you see the same number sequence appear everywhere, or when a thought manifests into reality moments later. Do you dismiss these moments as mere coincidence, a trick of the mind? Or do you sense a deeper current, an unseen tapestry weaving itself just beyond the veil of our ordinary perception? For too long, we have been told that life is a chaotic dance of random events, a meaningless progression of moments without purpose. But what if that narrative is the greatest illusion ever cast upon humanity? What if every so-called coincidence is not an accident, but a whisper from the universe, a deliberate sign meant to guide you, to awaken you? This is not just a journey into the esoteric. It is an invitation to reclaim a profound truth about your existence, to tap into the very pulse of creation. Prepare to dismantle the walls of your conditioned beliefs, to peer beyond the mundane, and to embrace a reality far more intelligent, far more interconnected than you ever dared to imagine. We will delve into the profound depths of ancient wisdom, exploring the hidden mysteries that lie buried beneath centuries of skepticism. We will uncover how seemingly random numbers, symbols, and events are in fact a precise language, a cosmic dialogue waiting to be understood. This isn't just about patterns. It's about your spiritual enlightenment, a transformative process, a true inner alchemy that reshapes your perception from within. Many truths have been obscured, tucked away in forbidden texts, deemed too powerful, too liberating for the masses. But the time for their unveiling is now. As we journey through these revelations, you will begin to perceive the intricate dance of cosmic energy, recognizing its symphony in every breath you take, every sign you encounter. If you are ready to question everything you thought you knew, to feel the profound shift within, then join us. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel to continue this profound exploration into the unseen world of synchronicities, where randomness ceases to exist and meaning emerges from the very fabric of reality. Think for a moment about those moments you dismiss as mere coincidences. The insistent repetition of numbers like 1111 on a clock, the 222 on a license plate, or the unexpected appearance of a figure or symbol just when you think of it. Common perception would tell us they are the result of chance, whims of an indifferent universe. But what if I told you that chance is, in fact, the greatest of illusions? That these seemingly random events are actually a language, a silent dialect of an intelligent universe seeking to communicate directly with you, piercing the veil of mundane perception? Ancient wisdom, preserved in whispers through the millennia and in archaic symbols, has always known this. Civilizations like the Egyptians, Mayans, and Greeks saw numbers not simply as quantities, but as the very essence of the cosmos, divine principles that govern the universal order. For the Pythagoreans, for example, numbers were more than mere mathematical symbols. They were vibrational archetypes, manifestations of cosmic energy, each with its own frequency and meaning. They understood that the harmony of the celestial sphere, the golden ratio found in nature, and the structure of consciousness itself were all governed by precise numerical relationships. These are not hidden mysteries to be feared, but keys to a spiritual enlightenment that transforms one's understanding of reality. Jung, in more recent times, coined the term synchronicity to describe meaningful coincidences, causal events that appear to have meaning to the observer. But the vision we explore here goes far beyond mere psychological coincidence. We are talking about an intentional dialogue, a constant flow of communication from a higher intelligence that permeates everything. Imagine that each of these signals is a pulse of cosmic energy, a note in a universal symphony that you are just beginning to hear. Your inner self, your deepest intuition, is the attuned receiver, capable of decoding these messages. It is a process of inner alchemy, where the lead of your limited perception is transmuted into the gold of an expanded consciousness. Why was this truth obscured? Many forbidden texts, considered heretical or dangerous by those in power, contained precisely this knowledge. Consider the Hermetic teachings, which speak of as above, so below, suggesting an intrinsic correspondence between the macrocosm and the microcosm, an infinite dance of patterns and reflections. Or the Gnostic texts, which revealed a reality far more complex and interconnected than official doctrine allowed. These works, often suppressed and burned, held the keys to understanding that there is no chance, only an intricate tapestry of cause and effect, of message and interpretation. It was believed that unrestricted access to this ancient wisdom could awaken spiritual enlightenment in the masses, freeing them from dogma and control. And this power was feared. When you begin to realize that the repeating numbers, the chants, encounters, and the thoughts that immediately manifest in your reality are not random, but direct messages from cosmic energy, your entire universe begins to reorganize itself. You are no longer at the mercy of blind fate, but actively participating in a conversation. This is more than pattern recognition. It is the awakening to an interconnected consciousness, where you are an integral and active part of the language of the universe. But if these are the signs, if the universe is speaking, who or what is sending these messages? What is the true source of these cosmic whispers? And more importantly, how can we not only recognize these signs, but also interpret them, unlock their deeper purpose, and thus align our journey with the flow of creation itself? Here's the fundamental question. If the universe speaks to us, why are we so deaf? Why do most people walk through life blind to this cosmic orchestra, attributing melody and meaning to chance? The answer lies in a complex web of conditioning, a carefully crafted system that shapes our perception from birth. Think of education not as a path to human flourishing, but as a mind-shaping machine. From an early age, we are taught to value linear logic, memorization of facts, and repetition, to the detriment of intuition, creativity, and divergent thinking. This seemingly innocent curriculum is one of the pillars for the suppression of ancestral wisdom, which has always valued holistic knowledge and the individual's intrinsic connection with the cosmos. Intuition, this silent voice of the soul, is systematically discredited, labeled as imagination or irrationality. And media, in turn, operates as a distorted mirror of reality, bombarding us with narratives that promote rampant materialism, social fragmentation, and the illusion of control through consumption. Catastrophic news, superficial entertainment, and the glorification of selfishness serve as a veil, obscuring the hidden mysteries that manifest daily around us. They push us toward a mechanistic worldview where everything is observable, measurable, cause and effect, and where the cosmic energy that permeates everything is relegated to the realm of fantasy. If life is merely a random sequence of biochemical events, then synchronicities are mere coincidences, and the search for a higher purpose becomes futile. And religion, or rather, rigidly structured religious institutions, sometimes contribute to this isolation. By dogmatizing faith and centralizing spiritual power in authority figures, many paths to individual spiritual enlightenment were diverted or completely blocked. Forbidden texts, those that challenged the established narrative or offered keys to a direct mystical experience, were burned, hidden, or reinterpreted in ways that disempowered the seeker. Think of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Gnostic texts discovered, at Nag Hammadi, or the Apocryphal Gospels. They represent echoes of an ancient wisdom that spoke of an immanent God, of an inner awakening, of an inner alchemy that would transform the lead of ignorance into the gold of pure consciousness. The power inherent in such revelations, which pointed to the divinity within each being, was a direct threat to the control structure based on external mediation and dependence. This systemic programming conditions U.S. to operate on a superficial plane of existence, to seek answers outside ourselves, and to reject any glimpse of a deeper, more interconnected reality. The goal is to keep the population disconnected from their own intuition, from their innate ability to access cosmic energy and interpret its signals. A humanity with full spiritual enlightenment, aware of its own power and the intricate dance of the universe, is uncontrollable. Imagine the inner alchemy that would occur on a massive scale if each individual recognized and honored their own divine spark, their direct connection to the source. The fear of this transformation is palpable in the centuries of suppression, of knowledge, the demonization of the wise, and the marginalization of everything that doesn't fit the official narrative. What they don't want you to know is that these signs, these synchronicities, are the primordial language of the universe, whispering truths that have been deliberately silenced. They are fragments of hidden mysteries that refuse to disappear, persisting despite centuries of indoctrination. The question, then, is not just recognizing the signs, but deprogramming yourself, unlearning the imposed blindness. This leads us to an even deeper reflection. If the reality we perceive is so manipulated, how real is the separation between us and the divine? And what really happens when this artificial barrier dissolves? You've touched on a crucial point, the fine line that separates observer from creator. Ancient wisdom has whispered for ages that our consciousness is not a mere mirror reflecting reality, but rather the alchemical furnace where it is forged. Consider quantum physics, a field that for many still resonates as one of the great hidden mysteries of modern science. The observer effect, this apparent anomaly, demonstrates that in the subatomic realm, a particle does not exist in a defined state until observed. Mere expectation, the directed intention of our consciousness, collapses the wave of probabilities into a singular reality. Isn't it fascinating? It's not just a laboratory experiment. It's a glimpse into the intrinsic dance between mind and matter. And if this occurs at the most fundamental level of existence, how can we deny its reverberation in our macroscopic reality? And what about the placebo effect? Western medicine, in its quest for empirical validation, reluctantly accepts that pure belief and mental expectation can cure disease, alleviate pain, and even alter physiology. A piece of sugar, devoid of any active ingredient, becomes a potent medicine because the mind believes it to be. Is this not living proof of inner alchemy in action? Isn't consciousness directly shaping biology, subverting the supposedly immutable laws of the body? The cosmic energy that permeates everything is the medium through which our intention manifests, and consciousness is the helmsman that guides it. This profound understanding that we are active co-creators is not a modern invention. It pulses at the heart of forbidden texts and hermetic teachings, such as the Emerald Tablet, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, which proclaims as above, so below, and as above, so below, to accomplish the miracles of one thing. This is not just poetry. It is a formula for manifestation. It means that the mental universe we inhabit, our microcosm, mirrors and affects the macrocosm of external reality. Our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not just internal phenomena. They are the invisible seeds that germinate in our experience. This ancient wisdom has been diligently suppressed. Imagine the power of a humanity that understands that its pain, its illnesses, its financial limitations, and even its relationships are, in large part, projections of its own consciousness. Such knowledge would free the masses from external control, fear, and dependence. Therefore, the guardians of the dominant narrative, those who benefit from our ignorance, have worked tirelessly to relegate these teachings to realms of superstition, esotericism, and charlatanism. The hidden mysteries were locked away, accessible, only to a select few who swore secrecy, or else distorted beyond recognition. Consider the Vedic and Buddhist traditions, where the concept of Maya describes perceived reality as an illusion, a web woven by the mind. Or Lila, the divine play of creation, where divinity or cosmic consciousness manifests and experiences itself through multiple forms. These are not mere metaphors. They are descriptions of a malleable universe, responsive to intention. Spiritual. Enlightenment, in this context, is not simply a state of inner peace, but the full awareness and mastery of this ability to shape reality. It is the ability to align cosmic energy through one's own consciousness to manifest what is desired, to transcend the limitations imposed by the three-dimensional world. But the question that then arises, and which takes us to the next threshold, is this: if our individual consciousness can shape reality, what is the impact of collective consciousness? And if the reality we perceive is a projection of our own mind or of a greater mind, how do we discern the real from the illusory? What is inherent and what is merely a manifested belief? This is where the journey deepens, beyond the surface, of individual perception into the very fabric of the web of existence. What happens when the veil of illusion is lifted, not just for an individual, but for a collective? What do we then reveal about the true nature of our world? And who or what is truly pulling the threads of this cosmic tapestry? If the reality we perceive is a web, then it is not a static web, but an intricate mesh of vibrating threads, each representing a potential timeline, a possible manifestation of the now. The ancient wisdom of countless cultures, though veiled in hidden mysteries and allegories, has always pointed to the fluid nature of existence. It is not an immutable destiny, but a field of infinite probabilities dancing in perpetual motion. Imagine that with every breath, every thought, every emotion, you navigate a vast ocean where countless versions of yourself and your reality unfold simultaneously. The idea that our choices, our consciousness, and our alignment with the signals of the universe can move us between these different potential versions of our lives is no mere fantasy. It is one of the most profound truths contained in the forbidden texts and esoteric teachings that have been carefully guarded and, at times, violently suppressed throughout history. Why such suppression? Because knowledge of temporal multiplicity and our agency over it confers immense power, capable of dismantling systems of control based on limitation and the perception of a single, immutable future. Consider the Hermetic schools of ancient Egypt, which spoke of inner alchemy not simply as the transmutation of metals, but as the transmutation of the self itself from the lead of ignorance and limitation to the gold of spiritual enlightenment. This profound alchemy involved the understanding that the universe is a vibrational matrix. By shifting our internal frequency, by aligning our intention and vibration with the cosmic energy that permeates everything, we are able to tune into a different timeline, an alternate reality that already exists as a potential. It's not that we create a new reality out of nothing, but that we access and align ourselves with the one that best resonates with our current frequency. Consider the radio metaphor. There are countless stations broadcasting simultaneously in the ether, but you only hear the one your radio is tuned to. Similarly, our state of consciousness, our most deeply held beliefs, our fears, and our desires act as the dial, tuning us to a specific version of reality. When we experience déjà vu, it may not simply be a repetition of an event, but a brief glimpse of a parallel timeline that almost overlapped with our own, an echo of a choice we could have made differently. Ancient Hindu and Buddhist traditions, with their concepts of karma and samsara, indirectly address this fluidity. Karma is not divine punishment, but a principle of cause and effect that unfolds through multiple existences, that is, multiple timelines. Each action and intention plants seeds that will germinate in future scenarios, directing the soul toward specific experiences. Liberation from samsara, the cycle of rebirth, is the spiritual enlightenment that allows us to transcend the wheel of karma. or in our context, to transcend the gravitational pull of timelines predetermined by conditioning and ignorance, and consciously choose our own path. Even modern quantum physics, with its boldest interpretations, such as Hugh Everett III's many worlds theory, offers a scientific echo of this ancient wisdom. Although complex, it posits that at every instant a decision is made, or a quantum particle manifests, the universe splits into multiple selves and worlds that explore all possibilities. In a sense, consciousness is the observer that continually collapses probability waves into a specific experience. But what if this collapse doesn't eliminate other possibilities, but merely directs us toward one of them? The hidden mysteries teach us that time is not linear as we perceive it in our three-dimensional reality, but spherical, with all nows coexisting in a unified field of possibilities. This understanding is encoded in arcane symbols, in mythical narratives about gods who weave fate, and in certain practices of astral projection or time travel mentioned in forbidden texts, such as the Kybalion, which synthesizes Hermetic principles, or fragments of the Books of Enoch, which describe visions of multiple heavens and cosmic orders. The key lies in our capacity for inner alchemy. By purifying mind, body, and spirit, by transcending limiting programs and beliefs, by connecting with the pure cosmic energy that sustains us, we expand our field of vision and become conscious co-creators. Spiritual enlightenment is not just an awakening to truth, but the empowerment to actively live that truth, choosing the highest path, the timeline most aligned with our true purpose. Those who have reached this state of transcendent consciousness are not bound by a single stream of events, but have the agency to surf the waves of the multiverse. But if we are able to actively influence which timeline we inhabit, what is the role of intuition, the signs and synchronicities the universe sends us? Are they mere coincidences, or are they whispers of cosmic energy itself, guiding us toward a more propitious timeline, a path of greater growth or least resistance? And what about the doors that open and close, the opportunities that arise and disappear? Are they mere illusions or beacons on our path through multiple realities? We will deepen our exploration of this intersection between free will and cosmic design, between our choice and the guidance we receive at the next threshold. So we come to the heart of the matter, the suppression of a fundamental truth. Let us think of the ancients not as primitives, but as civilizations that, at their height, operated in a harmony with the cosmos we barely understand today. Their ancient wisdom, encoded in symbols and numbers, was not mere superstition or rudimentary mathematics. It was a language of cosmic energy itself, describing the vibrational architecture of the universe in its most minute detail. Take Hermeticism, for example. Originating in the mystery schools of ancient Egypt and flourishing in Hellenistic Alexandria, its principles, compiled in works such as the Corpus Hermeticum, which is not a single book, but a collection of treatises attributed to Hermes. Trismegistus were not merely philosophical treatises. They were manuals for spiritual enlightenment, guides to the profound understanding that as above, so below. This maxim is not a poetic metaphor. It is a map of the vibrational correspondence between the macrocosm and the microcosm. The Hermeticists saw the universe as a complex tapestry of resonant patterns, where every number, every symbol, every sound possessed an inherent vibration that connected it to a greater aspect of reality. They were not merely reading stars. They were reading the divine grammar of the universe, interpreting the hidden mysteries of manifestation. And the Pythagoreans? For Pythagoras and his followers, number was not merely a quantity for counting, but an archetypal principle, the essence and underlying structure of all things. The music of the spheres, for them, was not an abstract concept, but the audible manifestation of the mathematical order of the cosmos. They believed that each planet, each distance between them, Each geometric proportion in the universe emanated a particular frequency, creating a cosmic symphony inaudible to ordinary ears, but intelligible to the enlightened mind. Understanding Pythagorean numerology was to unravel the hidden mysteries of creation, the numerical structure underlying the manifestation of all life. It was a form of inner alchemy, which allowed the initiate to transmute their own consciousness by aligning themselves with these cosmic harmonies, reaching a state of profound resonance with universal cosmic energy. But what happened to this profound ancestral wisdom? Why was it trivialized, relegated to the realm of superstition, or magic, in the pejorative and misleading sense attributed to it? History shows us a clear pattern of suppression, the rise of religious dogmas, and centralized institutions often saw esoteric knowledge as a direct threat to their power and monopoly on truth. The idea that the individual could access divine truth directly, without the need for intermediaries or imposed dogmas, was intrinsically dangerous to control structures that thrived on ignorance and dependence. The burning of the Library of Alexandria, though complex in its causes and events over the centuries, symbolizes in many ways the massive loss of forbidden texts and ancient treatises that contained this wisdom. Many of these writings were considered heretical or simply unuseful by the new dominant paradigms, which favored a more literal, linear, and less symbolic view of the world. Consider the Gnostics, for example, who flourished in the early centuries. Of Christianity, they offered a vision of spiritual enlightenment based on direct knowledge gnosis, of the divine nature and our intrinsic connection to cosmic energy. Their Gospels and codices, many of which were only rediscovered centuries later in Egypt, such as those from Nag Hammadi in 1945, were declared heretical and systematically destroyed. They spoke of a multidimensional universe, complex archetypes, and a journey back to the primordial source, ideas that resonate deeply with Hermeticism and Pythagoreanism, but which were actively silenced and persecuted. The persecution of witches and heretics in the Middle Ages and Renaissance often targeted those who still practiced or transmitted fragments of these occult mysteries. The very transformation of alchemy from a spiritual and philosophical quest for inner transmutation, the inner alchemy of the self, into mere chemistry to produce gold, is another glaring example of how knowledge was purposefully misinterpreted and impoverished, diverting focus from its true purpose. Symbolic language, which was at the heart of communicating with cosmic energy and understanding universal patterns, was reduced to children's fables or mere historical curiosities. They didn't want humanity to know that the keys to reality lay within each of us, encoded in the very fabric of existence, accessible through symbolic and vibrational understanding. They wanted us to depend on external interpretations, dogmas, and authorities that dictated truth. This suppression was not an accident, but a calculated design. A design to disconnect us from our own ability to perceive the cosmic energy flowing through everything, to make us forget that we are co-creators of our reality through attunement to these universal patterns. But what if I told you that these hidden mysteries, this ancient wisdom, was not entirely lost? What if the remaining fragments, the persistent symbols, the texts that survived the fury of destruction, are clues deliberately left for those with eyes to see and ears to hear? Clues to the true nature of reality, to the secret language of creation that allows us not only to interpret, but to actively interact with timelines? It is at this intersection between what has been hidden and what can be revealed that the next layer of our investigation lies. These clues, my dears, are not mere relics of a distant past. They are the insistent calls for what we call awakening. It is the beginning of a profound inner alchemy, where the conditioned self begins to dissolve to reveal the sovereign self. The first shackle to be undone, even before one can take the first conscious step on this journey, is the fear of others' judgment. We have been conditioned to seek external approval, to mold our existence to the desires and expectations of an often dormant collective, immersed in a consensual illusion of reality. This is the matrix that suffocates us, that blinds us to our own innate ancestral wisdom. What courage does it take to dismantle these external mental constructs, to dare to be the authentic manifestation of oneself, no matter how dissonant it may seem to the chorus of conformity? It is in this void that the voice of intuition emerges. It is not a whispering voice, but a deep resonance, a direct connection to cosmic energy, an internal compass that vibrates in tune with universal patterns. Intuition is not random. It is the echo of the hidden mysteries that our soul already knows, a primordial language that transcends linear logic and limited reason. The ancients, in cultures as diverse as the Egyptians, the Druidic, and the Vedic, did not see intuition as mere superstition, but as an advanced form of perception, a subtle science of connection with the whole. They trained this capacity through meditative practices, contemplative rituals, and the in-depth study of symbols, knowing that the universe communicates with us in a dialect that only the heart and the attuned mind can understand. And this communication manifests itself through signs. These are not mere fortuitous coincidences, but synchronicities, coded, messages that reality sends us, like breadcrumbs on a path that reveals itself step by step, a numerical pattern that repeats itself incessantly, a vivid dream that brings an unexpected revelation, a chance encounter that seems orchestrated. By fate, each of these is a fragment of the language of the universe, waiting to be deciphered. The forbidden texts, many of them surviving in fragments or veiled in allegories, such as the Nag Hammadi scrolls or certain Hermetic treatises, were not merely narratives of a mystical past, but practical guides for such interpretation. They described methodologies for inner alchemy, teaching how to transform ordinary perception into a keen vision, capable of discerning the invisible currents of cosmic energy that permeate everything. They were roadmaps to spiritual enlightenment, revealing that our reality is not something that simply happens to us, but something we, in essence, co-create. The culmination of this process is the regaining of personal sovereignty. By freeing oneself from the shackles of fear, external validation, and imposed blindness, and by trusting one's inner compass, this deep connection with cosmic energy and ancestral wisdom, one becomes a clearer channel. It's not about power over others, but about self-mastery, about governing one's inner world, aligning one's personal vibration with the soul's highest yearnings. This is true sovereignty, the ability to be the author of one's own existence, free from the manipulations and dense vibrations of a dormant collective. It is a process of energetic reorientation, a profound realignment with one's true essence, an awakening to the truth that one is a multidimensional being, intrinsically connected to the tapestry of creation. But awakening is not an endpoint, my dears. It is a threshold, a gateway to even deeper understanding. Once our eyes open to these truths and our inner alchemy deepens, our perception expands beyond the known, beyond the boundaries imposed by three-dimensional illusion. We begin to question not only what we see, but how we see it, and most importantly, how we can interact with this tapestry of reality that reveals itself to be increasingly malleable. The next question, then, naturally emerges from the depths of this new spiritual enlightenment. If we are able to influence our inner reality with this new awareness and mastery over cosmic energy, how deeply can we intervene in the very fabric of external reality, in the very threads that weave time and space? And what do the hidden mysteries reveal to us about the mechanisms of this interaction and the secrets of creation that lie beyond the forbidden texts? The answer, my brothers of light, lies not in forbidden texts or mere external knowledge, but in the reverberation of ancestral wisdom that pulsates within your own being, in the boldness to delve into the deepest hidden mysteries of your own soul. It is a path of continuous inner alchemy, where cosmic energy manifests through your intention, culminating in true spiritual enlightenment. Remember, reality is malleable, a reflection of your ever-evolving consciousness. What ancient secret do you feel you're about to uncover on your own journey? Leave your answer in the comments below. If this knowledge resonated with you, share it with those who also seek the truth, and subscribe to the channel to continue unraveling the veils. To delve even deeper, watch our next video now, where we will explore the language of archetypes and their power in the co-creation of reality.